All right, good morning. I hope that you're resting well. I have not made a T-shot video in a decade, so I figured since you were thinking about starting testosterone at some point, it might be fun to show you how I do what I do. So my testosterone comes in this vial. It is the 200, and there goes my camera setup. It's the 200 concentration. That's the most common that we have in Texas. Very few people are on the 100 milligrams per milliliter concentration. So this is usually what mine looks like. Although I have been saving a whole ton of them over the years. I don't know if I can get a good shot of this, but yeah, just kind of keep them there. And this is like my T-Supplies thing. So I have that. Let's see. So you probably know the steps already, but just for fun. All right, so the first thing, and I've already done this, was I took an alcohol wipe and I wiped the top. So really it's just, there's dirt on the top, and so you don't just like push the dirt around, you push the dirt off, or kind of do a little tiny circle and then a bigger circle to kind of get the dust off of the top of the cap. So that's been done. Then I always recommend 2 different needles. So you put one needle in the T vial and the other one goes in U, so it's not as dull. And then for me, I use a tiny syringe, which is a 1 milliliter syringe. I have all my supplies all out, so I'll show you sometime if you're interested. So 1 milliliter, and then this one is a bigger one. It's a 22 gauge. I don't like to use an 18 gauge or anything bigger than that to poke open the testosterone vial, because a lot of times that will mess up the seal, the vacuum seal, and so T can leak out, and that's not good. All right, so it's about an inch long, 22 gauge. I pull back and get as much air or a little more as the dose I'm gonna do. So that way the testosterone will be more likely to come out. Okay, so put that in there, push the air in, turn it over, and then I make sure that the tip of the needle is below the solution, because if it's above, I'm just pulling out air. And I slowly pull it out, and it slowly comes down because it's so thick. So my dose is roughly 90 milligrams, but I do 80 because I think it's just, we're on way too much testosterone in general, is something that I'm learning. So I do it to 0.4. It was at 0.45, but now I do it to 0.4, and I'm gonna try to get even less because really I've maximized the changes. It's 12 years, and I really need to minimize the side effects that will come with testosterone. Okay, so I'm going to do the injection at the top of my belly. I think this is appropriate because I'll just be showing the top of the belly here, so you won't, it won't be like weird. Okay, so belly button here. You think about a clock, if you will, around the belly button, so about an inch out in diameter. And then you're gonna do a 45-degree angle towards like under the belly button. So this is subcutaneous in the abdomen. So from here, let's see, I'll clean the area that I'm gonna go. Pro tip, whenever you're opening alcohol wipes, I learned this from a nurse. You go in the very, very middle, and that way it's just easy to pull out. I don't know. Pro tip from nurses. They know these things. So I'm gonna try this area right here. This is like the 11 o'clock. So I start and then I do the small circle and then out method. So that way I'm not just pushing dirt around, I'm getting dirt out of the area. While that's drying, I go ahead and switch my needles. So that was the bigger one. And this is a 25 gauge, and you're a piercing person, so you know the larger the number, the smaller the bore of the needle, right? So 22 to pull up or to draw the testosterone, and 25 to inject. All right, so, and it's much smaller. This is a 5/8 of an inch needle. I'm gonna flick it like this to watch all the bubbles go to the top, and then I'm going to push the vial until I can feel satisfied that I'm not gonna put a big bubble of air in me. It's actually not, like I've talked to some nurses, it's not that dangerous unless it's like a huge thing of air that you're putting in yourself. So there's a little bubble, it's fine, okay. So then I'm gonna make sure that the bevel is up. There's like a slice in the the needle, and so I'm just gonna make sure that is up, and I can show you that easier. All right, so from here, I'm gonna squeeze the area around so I have pain outside where I'm gonna do the injection. And when I do the injection, I usually do it pretty slow on myself. I do it fast on other people because really, okay, so now it's in. The first layer of your skin, the epidermis, is where the pain sensors are. So as soon as you get it through there, it's actually, you can't feel it. But the first part is the worst. Okay, so I have put all of the medication in. I usually wait for a couple seconds and I loosen my grip on the skin. And then I pull it out. Sometimes there's blood, sometimes there's not. Try not to poke myself with this. I close it on the wall. Then I take usually one of the wipes and I go like this. I don't know. People say it helps it soak in or something. I don't know. I've been doing this forever. So we go like that. I don't need a Band-Aid because it doesn't usually bleed. If it does bleed, I usually just use a little toilet paper or whatever and just kind of hold it for a bit to stop the bleeding. But really, it's not a very, like, I mean, we got like 2 little dots and then it's done. That's it. So the next thing I do is, these are my only sharps that come with it. So this was the drawing needle and this was what I injected with. So I put this in a sharps container, and I'll show you what we use here because they don't have a way to return them. It's complicated. And then the rest is all just my vial, so I put that back in my little box. And then, dun, 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 dun. From there, I put the rest of the trash in the trash, and there you have it. So any questions, let me know, and I think I'll probably just go ahead and post this somewhere, so if folks have questions in general. It's just been so long since I've made a T-shot video, so I wanted to do that, and any comments or questions, let me know.